Okay, so I'm really excited about tonight's training because I know it's something that we all kind of feel in business, that there's seasons to business. There's like levels to this industry. There's mindset growth. There's all these kind of analogies that you may hear in like network marketing or in entrepreneurship that kind of like we use as a way of kind of giving guiding posts is the best way how to explain it. I teach people like their seasons in business. One second, I just want to send this. 1 minute. There's seasons in business that I really feel like are really important to keep a perspective for us to keep that consistency. That's the only word I can ever use because there's no such thing as motivation. Okay, so let me break that to you. Okay, I know, and this is where we're going to start out with, because you know how I am. I'm here to teach you guys the tangible tools that it takes to get to the next level, but I'm also going to be applying pressure to this team because of the capability in each and single every one of you that are on it that show up consistently. So one thing that I have been really focalizing on is matching energies, matching efforts, and I'm teaching my leadership to do the same thing, okay? We all have things that we're going to grow in. We all have things that we don't fully understand that we can like learn, grow, develop, whatever. No one's perfect, okay? But if that's always your focus is your weakness, you're always going to be a victim of your reality. And you're not a victim. You're a warrior. You're a conqueror. You're overcomer. So what I'm here to teach you is how to rewrite the narrative and the subconscious patterns that are constantly either evolving you or revolving you. So pay attention to your last 6 months. Are they evolving you in the patterns that you chose, or are they revolving you? Okay. So now that you're kind of thinking about these things, it's not to be hard on yourself. It's not to be like, oh, I suck. I can't even, whatever. Like that's where you need to get over yourself and stop playing your victim mode. You're a freaking badass. So stop allowing that to be your narrative. What it is to help you recognize some of this thinking, the stinking thinking that gets in the way from going to the next season, from going to the next level, from growing through the obstacles that life throws at us. You know, we all have things life will throw at us. We all have moments that will make us fall to our knees. We all have seasons that we don't understand and we're crying behind the scenes like, what am I going through, God? Or what am I being faced with? What am I needing to learn? There is always opportunity. We have never arrived. Okay, even like no leader has arrived at the destination. No one's ever arrived. No one's better than anyone. So when I talk about these things, it's things that I've actually grown through and things that I have had to learn to either like get real with myself in or to keep allowing, if that makes sense, you know? So for example, we have spring, winter, fall, and summer. Welcome to the Brittany Show. This is me, how I always am. So I literally couldn't even talk earlier on my leadership Zoom that I had earlier. I was like, I can't talk tonight, so be prepared for the Zoom huddle tonight. But let's talk about spring. Spring is a season, when I think of spring, I always think of it like right after January. I always think of it from like January to May kind of time frame for me. And it's a season of pure like blooming season. It's a season of all that work that I've compounded for the last 8 months or whatever that math is there, for me to start having those seeds sprout. Okay, so let's talk about this in a business outlook way. Well, a lot of times in network marketing, people are like, the winter time is like during holiday season that it slows down. That is not true. That is not true unless that is your narrative of what you allow and then the actions that you follow. So some people's businesses, they either let off the gas during the holidays, they either let their family time be their excuse, they don't show up consistently, their mindset gets in the way because it's the whatever your narrative is. Some people get depressed during the holidays, some people don't have family to spend with. So like, yes, there's life, but this is where you have an out. like an outlook, an outweigh, a way of developing something different for yourself. So during the winter, I always take it as an opportunity to harvest and cultivate and plant seeds. We have so many opportunities during the holiday season to help so many families. And if you're on like M's downline or Katie's downline or anyone's downline that's listening to this, like we, all the 40K and above, got together and we as a community gave back to families for Thanksgiving. We all did that together. But do you know that we couldn't do that if this business wasn't cultivating and growing and leading and developing and helping impact each other? We wouldn't have the means to give back to others, if that makes sense. So during the holiday season, you have that same tool in your hand. You can provide someone Christmas dinner by helping them have options. You can provide someone having their debt paid off if they are struggling. You can provide all that. So first, I want to help you identify how you get to this spring. We're going to focus on winter right now because we're in a chilly time of the year. So I like to start off there. Winter is usually people's time frame where it really makes or breaks who they truly are. It separates the committed from the interested. It separates the people that are really serious about what they say they are serious about and really makes them really dive deep if they're really serious about it. It makes them it helps you get real and accountable for what you want from this business. Because you have seasons yourself within your personal life. Maybe you're having to put Christmas on layaway. Maybe you're having to put it on credit cards. Maybe you can't afford certain things. That's okay. I've been there myself, but this is what I turned into my motivational factors. So when I was in seasons where maybe that was my circumstances and I had to do layaways or had to do Christmas on credit cards, those seasons, my chapter 1s, my chapter 5s, those seasons are what pushed me to get to my spring. Okay? And how you do that is by when life is giving you every reason to not show up, to not be consistent, to not grow yourself, to use family time, to use, like, even this is the same aspect in the gym. Maybe you have weight loss goals and that's a goal that you're wanting to focus on. Holidays are where most people fall short because it causes you, hey babe, can you get my charger? It's on the side of the bed. My computer's gonna die. Thank you. This is like where you have to dig deep and you have to decide what you want. So season separates the 99 from the 1. You might have heard me like saying this quite a bit, but yeah, I was talking to you. Thank you. Can you get my charger? My computer is about to die. No, but what, married life. He's like my secretary. He helps me out. Sorry, I just call him a secretary. I just realized I said that out loud. Anyways, I love you. But what I'm trying to say is during winter seasons, this is when I use everything that I have to make a part of my brand. This is where you guys are cooking with families. That can be a part of your brand. This is where you're spending time with family. This can be a part of your brand. This is when maybe you're struggling with anxiety and depression. If that's a part of your brand, share these things. This is where you use your power, use your tools. Wait, I need the cord. Oh, that's, use these tools, use what you have, a part of what season you're in during the winter to develop into the spring. So I listen to Jessie Lee like literally all the time. If like she's my like mentor without even being my mentor, because literally she helps me see things that I already do, but then cultivate it in a way to teach my team. So how I do this is I pay attention to what energies I can match. If you're a leader and you're within my downline, my leadership knows I'm applying pressure. And so I have girls that are going to me like, I want to be a 40K leader. I want to be an 80K leader. Okay, what does it take? So if that's like your goal, I want you to write a 90-day goal first off, okay? I want you to write that down. I had Philip, he's one of my awesome dudes on my team, ask me like, what's a tangible way of setting up a goal to get to whatever rank? Like he had a rank, he asked about things like that. And truthfully, I don't have like a blueprint that I follow to get me to each season. What I focus on is duplication within the team that I can match energy with. So if I like, for example, and I do this, and some leaders will teach you differently, but I've learned this from Jessie Lee and I follow that. I look and see who's on this Zoom. Every single Sunday night, I pay attention to who's showing up consistently, who's not, who's in my inbox asking why they aren't where they want to be. And then I say, well, Sunday night on 11/29, you weren't on the Zoom, and on last week, you weren't either. So when you say that you were doing all the things, you're not doing all the things, babe. Because you got to stay close to the fire. You've never arrived at the destination. I'm constantly learning and growing. So in each season, that is a non-negotiable for my business and for my, babe, can you plug this in? And for myself is understanding that my personal development is going into every single season with me. So first off, I want to ask you, what does your routine look like? What's your consistent routine look like? Let's rephrase that. Because you can say you have a routine, but it's right there. But, oh, just kidding. But sorry, don't mind me, you guys. This is literally my squirrel syndrome that I talk about in my like post. But so what I'm saying is, what does your consistency in your routine look like? I know we all have different like levels of life. Some of us are working full time. Some of us are moms. Some of us are in school. Some of us are dealing with COVID situations. Some of us have spouses that are in essential jobs. Like, I don't know. Everyone has something different, right? Okay, so this is where if you want to get where you want to go, you have to find what works for you in your path. So my chapter 1 through like 5, because I've been in this industry for 6 years going on. So I've been, my first like 2, 3, 4 years was failing forward in this industry. I was working full time the first 4 years of this business. Can I rephrase that? I was working full time the first 4 years of this industry. I was working 13-hour days in school full time and working full time the first 6 months of Lavelle. My goal was to bring myself home. So I had to set up roadmaps for myself to get to that goal. What did I need to bring in a week to replace my income, at least to be scary, that I could get by? It didn't have to be my full monthly salary, enough to just get by to where I didn't have to work. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, what did I need to bring in? Okay, so what does my enrollments need to look like? If I'm doing X, Y, and Z and my enrollments look like this, and my checks look like this, what needs to happen? Okay, so a lot of us think if we're enrolling, it's just gonna, like, yes, there's 12K leaders that make more than some 80K leaders because they're enrollments. There's 4K leaders that make more than 40K leaders sometimes. When I was when I was a 40K leader, I was making more than some of my 80K checks because my enrollments were different. What I'm trying to teach though is what grows your residual is the duplication. So when you're in a season of winter, the biggest thing you need to do as a leader and as a business owner is harvest. Winter season, they're farmers, they get their crops like ripped out or whatever to prepare the ground. I could be 1,000% wrong because I'm not a farmer, but like they like get their ground all like ready for the coming season because it's not like harvestable, if that's a word. I don't think that's a word, but we're gonna go with it. Love my grammar, I know. That's not grammar. I think that's grammar. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I know. This is, yeah, all day loves me. But what I'm saying is they have a specific routine. They have a specific system in place to get ready for the growth of the crops. for the abundance that's coming. When they don't get paid unless they have a harvest. If they don't have crops to give to their buyers, they don't make an income for their families. So during the winter time, do you see how scary that could be for a farmer? Like during the winter time when they can't like do the things that it takes to get to their crops ready, but they're still planting those seeds. They're still digging the ground a little bit, preparing it, nurturing it, watering it, like getting it ready for the coming season, right? They're doing the trainings. They're doing the digging of the dirt. They're diving deep within themselves. They're showing up consistently. They're not just talking about it, they're being about it. So then when the harvest season, which is spring, comes, which I'm going to circle back to last because there's a reason for, they're ready for it. During the summer, so that we're going to jump right past spring, summertime. Summertime is anywhere from like May-ish to like September-ish, if you want to like kind of go in between there. Summertime is a hydrating season. It's a season where you're filling yourself up. You're growing yourself because you just had your harvest. You just had your blooming. You just had all those compounded efforts you've been putting in month after month after month, blooming and growing and sprouting and developing other leaders. And then now their crops are growing. Their team is growing. Their leadership is growing. And now they're harvesting their crops in their fields and they're growing their downlines. So now you're in the season of teaching your team to hydrate themselves. You're teaching your team to develop their mindsets, their routines, their consistency. You hear them, I tell my team to get off their freaking phones. I hate when I see people in my team like on their phones before they've done self-development. And I will use the word hate because I get strong word, but how do you expect to pour your best parts of you out if you aren't even being the best you? I can tell you from experience, you guys, I've been through the micromanaging season of leadership. I've been through the leaders that were talking about me season leadership. I've been through the I don't know what I'm doing leadership. I've been through I'm feeling my way forward leadership. But the thing about it is I've always had to dig within myself and find these seasons within myself and show up for myself. Because no one's doing that for me. So many of you guys talk a good talk, but don't walk a good walk. And it's not to be mean. It's not to call you out. It's not to be like, there's a little dig. No. And if that's how you're taking it, there's the mindset crap I'm talking about. You have to pour into yourself in your hydration season. And my hydration season is a non-negotiable for my daily routine. I hydrate myself every single morning. I fill my cup because guess what? I have thousands of people watching me and counting on me. You think I don't want to show up some days? You think I don't want to give my all some days? You think I don't want to have conversations someday? You think I just want to be off my phone someday? Yes, and I do. I do like an hour on, 15 minutes, 20 minutes off. My business is a part of my freaking life. It's not hard. You make it hard. It's not hard. We're all sitting on the toilet. We're all running around and going to all these places. I mean, honestly, I work my business on the toilet and this is recorded and I don't even care. Like commenting while I'm peeing is literally the easiest thing to do and doing engagements. You're a mom, find some time. I was making cinnamon rolls and posting in my stories earlier. That's content, guys. This business isn't hard, but you have to realize there's seasons. But you are that season. You decide when you're in that season. You decide when you develop out of that season. You decide how fast you go, how slow you go, what you get back, all of it. You decide. It's not a race unless you want to play a game with yourself and make it a race. That's how I developed myself. I played games with myself because I had to dig deep and find the fire all the time because it wasn't always there. So I'd be like, I'm going to have 2 VIP earners underneath me. And once I do, I'm going to go buy myself a little gift. And then I'm going to buy them a gift. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're in the summer season, summer is planting, it's nurturing your fields, it's nurturing your team, it's holding your team accountable. Do you have one person underneath you? Maybe you're, okay, let me rephrase this too. Maybe you're stronger than your upline. And I'm not saying that in a mean way, and if anyone's taking that personally, I promise you I'm not talking to you or pointing of you or thinking of you. Because I know I have people underneath me that are a little bit stronger than some of their uplines at times. And that's not a bad thing, but help your leader too. That doesn't mean that you're better than them or that you just figured it out faster or anything like that. Collaborate together, grow together, team up together, develop together, hold each other accountable together. Find people that you connect with that you can run with. Not that talk about the problem, not that focus on what's not happening. Birds of a feather flock together. I think that's right. Are you running to people that match the vibe that you're already being? Are you gossiping? Are you slandering? What's your hydration season look like? If you're filling yourself up with gossip, slander, blame, justification, complaining, and that's how you're filling your cup, that's how you're hydrating during the summer months or the dry months, the hard months, then you can't get mad when your mindset doesn't match the destination. So let's talk about fall. Fall, to me, is such a beautiful season because I use this expression a lot. I feel like God prunes the dead branches that no longer bear fruit in this industry. I feel like God has a tendency of bringing and this is not anything bad with the truth. It's just, it is a numbers game at the end of the day. And we're in a business of, hey, we're business owners. So act like it. So guess what? If people leave, if that's your focus and they're like, oh my God, Sally Sue over there just left. I don't know what I'm going to do. My business is going to crumble. Then you're not running your own damn business. You're focused on the lack and the lack will keep attracting. If survival is your focus, abundance cannot grow. So first off, if you have teams that are leaving, people do not leave where they are loved. I wrote that down because I had this issue in my business. I didn't operate out of love sometimes. I operated out of expectations, and I operated out of people. I saw people's potential. I saw where they could be. I saw where I know that they were capable of going. I saw everything past their limitations that they've created in their mind. Because it's a gift that God gave me. I truly see people's full potential. I see what they're capable of. Once they just got over their stupid limit they keep creating in their head. Once they get out of the way from their self-sabotaging and their victim mode. I see past that. So when I apply pressure to someone, it's not because I'm being mean or micromanaging. It's because I believe in you, girl, and you better just rise up because, hey, guess what? You're capable. Girls and guys, sorry. But the thing is, people don't leave where they're loved. And that doesn't mean you have to get along with everyone. That doesn't mean that everything, but are you operating with love on how you handle situations behind closed doors when no one's looking? Are you micromanaging because you're expecting your paychecks to grow and your volume to grow? Or are you doing it because you believe in them and their potential? Because there's a difference in what I do now. In my leadership, I'm like, hey, you need to do this, 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 and this, and you need to help your downline do the same. Because if you come to me and ask me to hold you accountable in areas, I'm going to push you to that leader that you said you wanted to be. I'm going to apply pressure in areas of your strengths, not your weaknesses, because so many times that's the problem. We focus so much on our weaknesses and not our strengths. And the thing about it is, and I forget who said it on my team, but it's on a podcast somewhere. You need to focus on refining your strengths more than you're focused on worrying about fixing your weaknesses. So when you're in fall, a fall season, God's going to prune the branches that no longer are bearing fruit. It's giving you opportunity to have new branches harvest. New branches is new seeds that have been planted, new compounded efforts. Maybe you're developing graphics. Maybe you're hosting a work with me. Maybe you're like becoming your own leader and you're teaching your downline to do the same. Fall allows new growth to happen. During that winter season, it prepares it. Does that make sense? So when fall and those leaves fall off, this is when you get to work. This is when you cultivate. This is when you grow. This is when you plant those seeds. This is when you prepare for the spring. So when you're in the spring, this is when all that compounded work, we're in a 90-day business. I talk about this a lot. 90 days. What's your last 90 days look like? Every single day, not just month by month. Were you consistent? Did you do personal development every day? Did you set your goals weekly, monthly? Did you have conversations daily? Did you do income producing activities? Do you know that your team, let's put this in perspective, your team will do 50% of what you're doing? So let's dive a little deeper in this. If you're having 2 conversations a day, your team's having 0, maybe 1. How is your business going to grow? We're in a networking business. What is the definition of networking? What is the definition of networking? Building friends. Yes, thank you. Building friends, building friendships, building rapport, building value, building vulnerability, building bravery, building strengths, building empowerment, building consistency, building vulnerability. So the thing is, guys, in every single season that you're faced within your business, you can do all the things and not see one result. Do you want to know why? What's your belief look like? What's your heart posture around the small things look like? What's your energy around going about your income producing activities? Are you finding the joy throughout your day? Are you finding the gratitude? Because the thing about it, I hear a lot of times people are like, I'm doing all the things and I'm not seeing none of the results. I don't know why I talk like this on Zooms. I swear I sound like a bad British person. And it doesn't even sound British. But the thing is, you guys, if you're coming to your upline or whoever, and you're like, I'm doing all the things, but I'm not seeing all the results, there's your problem. Right freaking there. You want to know what it is? Your lack of belief in what you're freaking doing for your business and yourself. The belief in your damn path, the belief in who you are, the belief in the woman that you're becoming or the man that you're becoming, the belief in what you're creating, the belief in the vision of what you're trying to achieve. You're putting an expectation on your time frame. You're putting an expectation on when you're going to see your results or your growth. You're putting an expectation on when your team is going to get consistent. And then guess what? When it doesn't go your way, you throw a little party about it, and then you sit down and don't do nothing about it. You are the key in every single season you're faced with. You are the key in everything that life throws at you. Life, guess what, guys? This industry does not get easier. It gets better. It gets more freeing. It gets more rewarding, because I have women that are making 6 figures underneath me that are coming home to their babies. I have women underneath me that are growing and leading and showing up and being consistent and changing. I have men that are developing other men into being like badass, like examples of men. The thing about it is, greatness doesn't have a time limit. This is a lifestyle. This is a business. If I went to the gym 4 days a week and then ate Burger King 7 days of the week or 4 days a week, and then I got mad because I wasn't where I wanted to be in the gym, does that make sense? You can't get mad at what you're not giving consistent effort to. And then your mind must arrive at the destination before your life ever will. Those are like my 2 favorite sayings in the world. And the thing about it is, like, so many times we're in this season, we're like, and I hate sounding like this, but it's because I needed this for me to be the leader I am. And I would talk to my son this way. I would talk to my best friends like this. Like, this is not me being harsh. But if your why is your children, and then they're constantly the reason why you're not showing up, they're not your why. You don't even have clarity on your why. You're just doing this to go about your day and think that's your why. You need to find a why that makes you cry. Do you know how many people doubted me? Do you know how many people still doubt me? Do you know how many family members that don't believe in me and talk about me behind my back? Probably. I don't have full proof on that, but I pretty much know that. But like, do you know how many people think that because we moved into a bigger house, a better house, that we think we're better than, like, do you know what I deal with these things too. Do you think it sways me, derails me, puts me off track? No. Because I don't care what others think. They don't pay my bills. They don't do the life. They don't break generational curses that I'm breaking. They're not bringing generational wealth that I'm bringing to my son and my grandchildren. They're not living the life that I'm designing, that God put me on this path to create. Do you want to know what I do know? Is 20, 30, 40, 10, 5 years from now, by me being me, by me being consistently authentic to who I am, by me not being derailed and giving in when other people don't agree with me or whatever, or I half-ass things, or I let off the gas, by me staying course and persevering and having grit and digging deep within my why and staying true to my vision, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, those family members that doubt me will have their life changed in some way because of me. Do you want to know why? Because I'm staying true to me, and maybe that will help them change within themselves. It doesn't have to be financially all the time. Broke people stay broke because they're not willing to change their mindset. Money is an energy, you guys. I could go on a whole nother training about that. But money is an energy. It's literally a piece of paper. Yes, it grows on trees. So when I have different beliefs than someone, when I have different expectations than someone, when I have different like hustle than someone, if you had someone sitting on your shoulder right now watching you work, how would that look? How come we can show up for an employer that we hate going to, that we complain about our job, that we hate like working for, and we're working like for $17 an hour to $27 an hour, but we hate it so dang much, and we spend 16, 17, 12, 5, 10 hours a day at this employer, and we can give 100 to them, but we can't give 100 to ourselves. You're building their future. They're getting the good end of the stick on that one. That's what I'm doing over here. But I mean, that's what you decide what you want to do. You got to be about what you say about. If you're like, hey, it's going to take a year to retire myself from my business, or for my business to retire myself from my corporate America job, who says that? Who said it would take a year? You decide how fast it goes. You decide the results you give back. You decide what you get back in your business. If you guys saw how I worked my bit, I work probably like 5 to 6 hours a day throughout the day. Throughout the day. So not in like a whole chunk, okay? But I am so intentional with the time I have. So I'm gonna pass the baton, I can't talk ever, baton to Meg real quick. She had to say something because this is a really good topic for her to talk about really quick. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? First of all, please let me know if you can hear me because I'm driving in the car right now. Okay, good. So I want to tell a really quick story about time management, and it ties a little bit into me in hopes to just inspire you guys to really evaluate how much time you really have during the day and how much time you're wasting. So even right now, right? So every other weekend we drive down south so that my son go to his dad. There's so many times when I want to be like, ooh, we're going to drive home right when that training is happening, or we're going to be busy right when that training is happening. But somehow I always make time because this business is the bread and butter to what's going to take us where we want to go. So I want to tell you guys something to think about for a second. So I was reading this book about this professional climber, and he likes to scale all the big mountains. And he basically says that he's obsessed with the thrill of constantly pushing himself to do things that scare him. And they were like, how do you find time to do this? You run a multi-million-dollar company. You've just climbed Mount Everest. Now your next thing is you want to go bungee jump some crazy bridge. Like, where do you find the time? And he goes, here's what I've realized. There's 24 hours in a day. Let's say the average person spends 10 at a job and commuting. That is 14 hours left in the day. Let's say you get 8 hours of sleep. That's 6 hours left in the day. Let's say you eat an hour for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's an extra 3. So that's still 3 hours left over in the day that there is nothing scheduled. You know, and that's where we go to Netflix, or we go to parties, or like we hang out with people instead of sacrificing things that we do have the time. We're just not making it a priority. So the moment you check yourself, if you really, really get that self-discipline to say, I deserve to see where this takes me, so I deserve to put myself first. You know, when I decide like, hey, I'm not going to go out for girls' night because I would rather sit at home and work my business, because I know, like, my dreams are so big, guys. Like, I don't want to be the girl that goes out to girls' night. I want to be the girl that owns the club that everybody goes to. You know? Like, there's such a bigger purpose, but you just have to find time. And that is the biggest thing I've been stressing to my team is, it's not that you don't have time. It's that you're not making time. Or the time that you are spending, you're spending it overthinking what you should be doing and second guessing that you're doing everything wrong. When the secret sauce is just to put one foot in front of the other and do it scared anyways. You know, I was talking with one of my girls about reels today. She's like, I just don't get how it works. Like, I don't understand how to make it look good. I'm like, it's not about making it look good. It's about just showing up, because guess what? 6 months from now, when this is no longer a new feature, Instagram is not going to favor you for the fact that you have not used it once, because you've allowed the fear of not knowing how to make a 15-second video propel you forward. So that's it, guys. Just focus on your time management. That's what I've really, really been stressing on, and prioritizing what's important to me and how I can make that happen. And Britt is like the queen of routines. She's like a beast when it comes to it. So seriously, like, if you can look at anybody's routine, look at hers, because it's one of those things where she literally just got up and did it every single day, even though she didn't want to, until it became a part of her. You know, so nobody wakes up and starts a business and is like, oh, I'm programmed with routine now. They're like, fuck, I have to do this. This sucks. It doesn't feel normal. I really don't want to do it. And the true 1%ers are the ones who are like, you know what, I don't feel like doing this, but I think this is going to get me somewhere because it's gotten her there. And if she can do it, I can do it. So why not? Like, if we can do it, you can do it. Why not? So that's it. Love you.
No, I love that. And I think that's the biggest thing. I want you guys to set that tone for yourself. It's not something, if everyone could develop a good routine, imagine what differences their life could be with whatever they're trying to accomplish. Networking, it doesn't have to be about network marketing. It could be in anything in life. See, and I think this is what really separates people that have like an entrepreneurial mindset. I can't give you that entrepreneurial mindset. Do you get what I mean? You have to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. If everyone had it, everyone would be millionaires. Everyone would be over six-figure earners. Everyone would have those desires that they're wanting from their life. That's why most people are employees, is because it's easier to be employee, meaning it's easier to, sorry, I'm frozen. It's easier to, can everyone hear me? Because it's like frozen. Okay, it's easier to be able to just be told when to show up, where to show up, how often to show up. This is what you have, and this is where, how much time you have to work on things versus I got to figure that out on my own. I got to get resourceful. I got to learn. I got to develop these things. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I teach my team. If you're one of my personally enrolled, and what I mean is if I personally am your upline, I've signed you, you know the level of what I hold you to, because I believe in you and I freaking know what I match efforts to. I know what I attract in my leadership. I know what type of people I say you can come to my team. I don't allow anyone and everyone on my team. If they're in a mindset, hey, I'm like, I just don't know how to get the money and I don't know how to do this and then this, I say, you're probably not right for me right now. I want you to focus on some mindset stuff for the next 90 days and then come back to me. And I'll share personal development with them. I'll still like be in contact with them. I don't just cut them out and like let them go, but my time's valuable and I work with people that are hungry. My soul does not have energy or time for lack, low vibrations, gossip, complaining, inconsistency, justifications, blaming, self-sabotaging, victim mode, excuses. Like I've talked about this before, like excuses are boring. Everyone does them. Just like everyone has a-holes. So when you think of an excuse, think of that. And we all have 24 hours in a day. So when you say you don't have time, say no, you don't have a priority. People won't show up for something that they don't find value or priority in. So if you're struggling with inconsistency, I need you to dive deeper into the root on why you don't believe in your business. It's a hard pill to swallow when you realize that you're the one standing in your way. So the reason why I say that is it's not to make you feel crappy and like, oh, you just failed your business. Awareness is the first key to change. If you're not aware, you can't change. And if you don't know what to change, how are you going to press forward? How are you going to raise that thermostat? I've talked about that in trainings before. If your thermostat is set to one level and that's the result you're getting constantly, now it's time to move your thermostat up to the next level in order to raise the vibration, raise the actions, raise the level of what you're getting back. So let's say you're making $100 a week and you want to make $500 a week. What does that look like? If you're having 5 conversations a day and that's equaling the $100 a week, so that means you need to double that. If you're enrolling only 2 people a month, you need to set different goals as far as maybe up leveling that to match what you're wanting to get back. And I think what happens is we just try to enroll instead of serving to grow someone else. This isn't about paychecks growing. If you're wanting quick, easy money, this isn't drug money. This isn't like you're going to be a millionaire overnight. This isn't, and this is me being honest. This isn't like this isn't about the paychecks for me. I didn't start making 5 figures until 5 years into this industry, like 5 figures a week, 5 figures a month, 5 figures a year, until I was like 4 to 5 years in this industry. Now I make an annual salary. And it's not bragging or anything like that, but I'm also impacting. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's match that impact with the income that you're saying you want. And that income will start reflecting when you're being that person inside. Do you get what I mean? That's why, like, if you see people that hit the lottery, it's like, oh, what's that superstition that everyone that hits the lottery, they're cursed or whatever? No, they're just broke people that win the lottery that had not a good mindset around money, good behaviors around money, good beliefs around money, good environments around money. And guess what? That's why it goes poof as fast as it came in. I mean, it's just the truth. So that's why you have to learn to be that person inside. And that's why in every single season that you're faced with, how are you leading yourself? How are you showing up? How are you believing? What are you focusing on? If you're going to your upline does not build your business, girls and guys. Your upline is not going to give you your success. It's not going to give you your results. It's not going to give you your growth. It's not going to give you your paychecks going up. Your upline does not predict how your business goes. Your sideline sisters and brothers don't predict that. Your downline doesn't predict that. If my team were to all leave today, I still know that I could rebuild that and be fine and be successful and be right back where I was, because I know what I bring to the table. That didn't happen overnight though. And that's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand. That happened through choosing the season that I was in and turning my mess into a message. That turned my pain into my power, my test into my testimony. Whatever you want to, like, phrase, analogy that you want to say, is I chose every single day. And there's been days that I've taken time off. I'm not saying, but every time, and this is from a $200K $1 million leader. Every time you take 4 days off of your business, you're pushing the reset button. I went in my leadership chat earlier, and I know that I have a bunch of like team on here. I went in my leadership chat earlier because I have a leadership chat, and because I've had a couple girls, and I'm just going to talk about this really quick. I've had a couple girls that are attaching their leadership to people leaving. So if people leave, they're like, oh, I'm not being a good leader, or something's like, or that I'm not doing what I need to be doing as a leader, or that they're being hard on themselves, like, because maybe their leadership isn't, they're thinking that they're not leading their team the right way, and that's why people leave. No, that's a part of this industry. So you have to understand that, for one. People quit on themselves all the time. It's not quitting on your business. It's not the business, nothing wrong with the business. It's them, because they're not willing to get out of their way. That's why I say in the fall season, God prunes dead branches that are no longer built, like bear fruit, because it's allowing new fruit to come in, new people to come in, new growth to happen. But your upline, your downline, your sideline does not predict your success. You predict your success. You predict where you go in this business. You predict how you choose to show up. So if you're going to your upline and expecting to be a certain way, like place, you need to start looking in the mirror. Like, and also if you're a leader, like a 4K, 12K, 40K, 80K leader on this right now, you need to start paying attention who's showing up consistently. Something that Jessie Lee has taught me and I've been implementing, I pay attention every single Sunday night who's showing up on these every single Sunday night. I go through my little participants of all 33 participants out of the 250 that I have. Do you get what I'm saying? that are hungry for change, that are committed to change. The leaders that say they want to lead, but then are they really leading like right now? And I get if life happens and things like that, like totally get that kind of stuff. That's different. But if it's a consistency thing where they're like not on these things or not showing up for work with me or not leading themselves or not doing the like, well, there. Before you can build anything, you got to build yourself. You got to lead yourself. You got to choose yourself. I did a training on this the other night. Are you standing yourself up consistently? So I say that because I go through and I'm like, okay, who's been on here? So I had leadership come to me because they were like, and I get it. I've been in that season like where I was like, did I do something wrong as a leader? Is that why they left? Or maybe that's why they stopped working. I get it. I've been there. Totally. We all do. That's what leadership is. It's going first so that we can help others go after us. Because best believe all the other leaders that are developing on my team, this is going to be a conversation that they go through too, and that they feel through too. And I'm thankful as a leader that I can go first to help them go next when they go through these things, and that I can help someone grow through these things. But I sent a screenshot because I use Telegram for my team chat, right? So my whole team chats in Telegram. When I go to Telegram, you can go through here, right here, and you can see the last time people were on, the last time people were consistent, the last time people showed up, how many days it's been. That's when I know what you're really about, when no one's looking. So, and it's not to call anyone out, but it's for you to become aware and then create a routine around. It takes 90 days to create a habit and 121 days to create a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle for me. This is a business that I have business write-offs, that I built a freaking home from, that I've retired from, that my team is bringing home options for their families, that they're building, like this is a business. So if you want it to become where you're the CEO and you're writing your own damn checks and you're writing your own time frame and you're writing all these things as a CEO, you got to find a routine that works for you, because my routine might not work for you. But I want you to ask yourself daily, if someone was sitting on your shoulder, how would your work ethic look like? So I know I kept you guys a little bit longer than an hour, so I apologize for that. But if you're on my team, I am announcing a giveaway tonight to run into December. So it's something that we're going to be doing all together. I'll be putting it into the team in a little bit so that you guys can know about it going in. And then if you're not within my downline or anything like that, I want you guys to also do this homework with me or with your downlines and with yourselves or whoever. But my team, every single end of the month, I do a leadership huddle with my team, and I do a goal, like I kind of hold them accountable to what their goals are and making sure that they're getting clear on what their goals are going to be for December. So earlier I'm trying to get my notes pulled up. So I challenged everyone. I give challenges in my team chats, and it's not like, if you're not doing the challenge, you're not doing the assignment for me, which means you're not respecting my leadership, which means you're not doing your work that it takes to get to your growth. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I give challenges in my team, it's not because I'm just like trying to be like, hey, do this to, no, this is areas that I do that you want to be where I want to be, where you want to be or whatever, then mimic what I'm doing. Do you get what I mean? So I said, how many promoters are you going to enroll the month of December? If you say 2, I want you to put 4. Okay? I want you to up-level your beliefs around what you're capable of. So how many customers are you going to help? And you want to know a good way of being aware of what you did the month before so you can up-level your goals, like how Philip asked, how do I work to get to the next rank or the next level of my growth? I look at what my month looked like the month before. But every single month, this is something that me and Katie both do. I write down how many promoters. I write down 1 through 10 for promoters and customers. And I make that a goal to get 10 customers, 10 promoters. Just because I maybe missed a little bit on something, maybe it's one, I didn't sign like all those promoters or all those customers, doesn't mean I get hard on myself. But now I know to make that a goal the following month and maybe add one more to it, maybe 11 and 11, to kind of push myself a little bit more, if that makes sense, okay? So self-reflect on that. How many customers are you gonna help this month? And then how many samples are you gonna sell? I am including samples because I am so openly and honestly about this. I sucked at samples. And then the last 90 days, I stopped allowing that to be the narrative of what I told myself, because I would be like, I just suck at samples. And then I wouldn't put forth the action, okay? So now I'm changing in that, and I'm making that a non-negotiable for my business. So for the last 90 days, I've been selling like a minimum of 10 samples a month, okay? Now I'm up leveling it because now I know I can do that. The next thing is, what is your personal volume for the month of December? So for this month, mine was 3,500. I hit that probably at the 20th of the month. And that's on Nick's and my account, because I run 2 accounts, okay? And I get clear on that. Get very freaking clear to the number of what your volume is, because it will make you push yourself to get there. It will make you hold yourself to get there. How many trainings are you on or hosting? It's not just about 40K and above leadership doing trainings or hosting work with me's or anything like that. There's room at every single table for everyone to bring something to it. Do you get what I'm saying? So find your strengths and tap into that. I'll use Philip again, and Michelle if she's on here. They did the virtual upline trainings. They like paid extra to like learn and grow and develop themselves, and I freaking love that about them, because that's what leadership is. And you know what Philip did? He came to me, he's like, hey, can me and her lead a Zoom on what we're learning? And they did that. It was up to you if you showed up for that and took the resources that they're giving you to lead in. But that's what leadership is. That's what develops 40K leaders, is people following that inspired action. Okay? So are you hosting trainings? Are you asking M, if you're a part of M's downline, hey, can I maybe go live in the team page? I get it's scary, but I promise it's not scary after you do it. So the next thing is, what does your family time look like? And your personal development time look like? You need to have personal and business. It can't just be business, 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 business. This business is not you fitting into the business. It's your business fitting into you. You are the business. Okay? And then for me, I write down a Bible verse. If you aren't not religious, whatever, you can do like a quote of the month or a affirmation or a word or character trait of the month. So like last month I did unstoppable, but the word that I've been living by for the month, like the year of 2020, is love. That's why I have like this necklace that says love right here, because I want to remind myself every single day to operate out of love, to be love, to show love, to, those type of things. That's what I wanted to embody, because that was my weakness before, if that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was my weakness. I wasn't the most loving before. I was just like, girl, you're the real, like I was very like cut and dry if you knew me before. And I'm still like that. I'm not going to change that, but I'm doing it from a loving stance, if that makes sense now. I do it from like, hey, I love you. I believe in you. This is why I'm saying these things. Not be like, you need to do it this way and this way. And that's, you know what I mean? Like before I was like a little bit of the a-hole. And then the last thing is, what is one thing that you're proud of looking back on December? We focus so much on what we didn't do or what we didn't accomplish or what didn't go our way or blah, 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 blah. I want you to start finding the grace in what you're proud of during that month. So tonight, or tomorrow night, since the last day of the month. And I want you to find what you're proud of for the month of November. Okay? Maybe you let it work with me for the first time. That's freaking bomb. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I appreciate you letting me take up. Hey, it's 111. Sorry, I love angel numbers. I call them Jesus winks. If you don't know that, you can go and search Manifestation Babe angel numbers. She has a really good template on that. Just shout out. But I'm totally into, like, I feel like God speaks to me through like angel numbers and things like that. It's like little God winks. So search what 111 is, because that's how long our meeting went. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Thank you literally for hopping on and listening to me talk for this long. I love you guys, and thank you again.